Hey guys, it's Sylvia Jacobs, and today I'm going to be making like a different kind of video, something that I don't normally do, and I wrote a script, so I'm going to follow that, and I'm going to be talking about the Supersize Me documentary and basically like an analysis on it and also my thoughts on it, because there's a lot to this documentary and I thought it'd be really cool to talk about it. I'm also going to be listing some information in this documentary. Since it came out in 2004, information has changed dramatically. But this is also because of the fact that America has gotten so much worse in the obesity epidemic. And this information stated is probably a lot lower than it is now in 2024. That being said, I still think that this information is very valuable in society today. But the fact that not everything is entirely accurate now, I would still consider this documentary to be very informative. So that's why I'm talking about it. They did do a second Supersize Me in 2019, which the information is a lot more accurate to 2024. I'll be honest, haven't seen the new one, so but I assume since it's closer to 2024 that it's probably a bit more accurate. And the facts in this documentary is just incredibly insane, and I feel like it's just not talked about how bad the epidemic is, especially since it's getting a lot worse. And someone who's lost 55 pounds and was in category 1 of obese, it's just I feel like it's not really talked about. And I was really praised when I was obese. I had a BMI of 33.1, and people literally said that if I lost weight, that they wouldn't support me anymore. So we love that, but it's just crazy to me. But let's get back on track to the information that has been stated in this documentary. 100 million Americans are either overweight or obese. America is the fattest nation in the world. Since the 1980s, the obese epidemic has doubled, which goes back to the fact that this is 2004, which is 20 years ago, with twice as many obese children and 3 times as many obese adolescents. 1 in 4 people are obese. As of 2024, there are 4 McDonald's per square mile. Morgan is doing a social experiment with fast food, attempting to eat substantial portions of food that a lot of obese people probably don't have a hard time eating, and they don't struggle with it as much as someone who is smaller like Morgan. And the employee asks if he wants to supersize, and he has to. He has to say that he wants to. If they're like, do you want to supersize? And it's yeah, I guess. He's just shivering in his boots. He's like, oh no. Basically, in this entire process, he is eating fast food. Also, back then, McDonald's did have healthier options. As someone who used to work at McDonald's, we used to have salads and parfaits, and they got rid of that. That's so crazy. It's literally they have no healthy things on their menu anymore. Literally only apple slices is their only healthy item. He ends up gaining weight, and the side effects that he experiences are really detrimental to someone's health. He also explores the effects fast food companies have in the contribution to the obesity epidemic. In a way, you could compare carbohydrates to Supersize Me. The reason for this would be carbohydrates play an important role when you're eating a ton of fast food. also triglycerides are also going up because of eating fast food so intensely. The amount of protein you are getting is really from those unhealthy burgers. And I don't think that I'm the only one who thinks this, but McDonald's has always been very questionable to me. Like, their food is just so unhealthy, and like everyone knows how bad it is for you, you know? It's just, there's a lot that like goes into McDonald's fast food, and like I said, I used to work there. But Morgan does not have any nutritional background, which is why he hires a dietitian to help him during this documentary, alongside the several doctors that went through the journey to help with the end result on what happens when you eat McDonald's for 30 days and literally nothing else, and just basically having to also overconsume because they're like, do you want to supersize? And he has had to supersize a couple times, so definitely eating more than like he should, you know? But like, there's a lot of nutrition content in this documentary, and you can learn that starchy foods can affect one's life. Fast foods like McDonald's are full of carbohydrates and not really nutritional. Like, we didn't know that. I am glad to have watched this because it shows the effect of what fast food does to your body, that one should not have fast food, or at least very limited amounts of it, and not overconsumption, like every once in a while. Like, for example, my aunt, she would have it about like once or twice a year. So like something like that is not gonna kill you. So like, kind of like listen to your body, you know what I mean? I feel as though I'll probably incorporate not eating fast food as much, you know, even though it can be convenient. When you watch this documentary, you kind of like get the sense of how bad fast food is for you, and I feel like it really helped me in my weight loss journey watching this documentary, because I noticed all of the terrible things that fast food companies kind of do to your food, you know, all the bad stuff that they put in it. It's not good stuff. It's not healthy for you. But yeah, these fast food companies, they really get you because of the convenience of it all. And the documentary really reminded me of my past self, that I would eat fast food like 2 to 3 times a day. And people, you could say like it's the money aspect, but like to me, at least in my experience, it was a lot more expensive than what healthy would have been. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I'm glad that I don't eat like that anymore. But you know, what I've learned from this documentary is how similar it was to my life, and how I was like, is this enough food where I have like 11 items from Taco Bell in my cart, and I'm just like, maybe I should add one more burrito. You know, I'm always making excuses to be like, ooh, I want more sweet. I don't know. It's just like how it was. Weight gain has been linked to several health problems later in life, and in the documentary, these are the ones that they list, so like bear with me, it's kind of a lot. So hypertension, coronary heart disease, stroke, gallbladder disease, osteoarthritis, sleep apnea, respiratory problems, endometrial, breast prostate cancer, dyslipidemia, steatohepatitis, insulin resistance, asthma, hyperuricemia, reproductive hormone abnormalities, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and affecting one's fertility, and adult onset diabetes. Okay, that was a lot. And according to the new research, The direct medical costs associated with diabetes have doubled, and the direct medical costs have doubled in the past 5 years, from $44 billion in 1997 to $92 billion in 2002. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20% of these obese children have elevated abnormal liver function tests, and we have now started to do a study where we were seeing these children and what their livers actually look like under a microscope, and half of the evidence shows scarring of the liver and early stages of cirrhosis. If they don't change their eating and exercising habits, they're gonna end up with liver failure, and they're gonna need to have a transplant, or they're going to be somewhere that is just where they shouldn't be, you know? It's so preventable. So to the fact of like fast food being bad for you, there are the facts of what happened to Morgan. And so I made a list of everything that happened. Morgan ended up gaining 5% of his body fat within 5 days. He ended up gaining like 10 pounds. And so Morgan had to see the doctors before the experiment started. Just be prepared and safe. The doctors mentioned that he can expect an increase in cholesterol levels, heart disease, gaining weight, and an increase of triglycerides. Morgan, throughout the challenge, within day 9, he said that he felt depressed, gross, but also had an increase in appetite, which he states within a few minutes of eating that he feels hungry again and wants more. So if that's not telling of fast food addiction. Anyways, his starting weight was 185.5 with a body fat of 11%. The dietitian said he should be eating within 2,500 calories to maintain at his current weight, but at this challenge, he was eating about 5,000. And then Morgan, on his first day of supersizing, he gets a stomach ache and he ends up throwing up. Yeah. And at Morgan's second weigh-in, he weighed 203 pounds, totaling a gain of 17 pounds. Oh my goodness. At the end of the experiment, his cholesterol was way too high, his liver was sick because it couldn't keep up with the filtering. His liver was the most affected in this challenge because of the calorie-dense foods and the fatty diet. And he gained a total of 24.5 pounds in the 30 days. Here's a little nutrition lesson. Anyways, a substance that gives you energy is carbohydrates. Although protein can also be used for energy needs, the body typically reserves this nutrient for other key processes. Many people think that carbohydrate-rich foods lead to weight gain, but carbohydrates supply fewer calories and fats and oils. Carbohydrates provide many health benefits in addition to calories they contain. Carbohydrates are a main fuel source for some cells, especially those in the brain, nervous system, and red blood cells. Muscles also rely on a good supply of carbohydrates to fuel intense physical activity. Whole grain products have greater health benefits than refined and highly processed forms of carbohydrates. So like, don't be going to eat fast food, because that's not the good carbohydrates we're talking about. We're not talking about those kinds of carbohydrates, like that's refined. And to circle back from the beginning, there has been a dramatic increase in the percentage of individuals who are obese and or overweight in the last 25 years. The obese epidemic remains a crisis not only in the United States, but globally among affluent people and in developing countries where westernized diet patterns are increasing in popularity and sedentary lifestyles following after. Excess body fat increases the likelihood of many health problems, such as cardiovascular disease, has been linked with causing 13 different types of cancers, hypertension, stroke, bone and joint disorders, and type 2 diabetes, especially for the inactive individuals. 68% of North Americans are either overweight or obese, and of those, 40% are overweight and the other 18% are obese. From early to middle childhood, the majority of adults gain approximately 1.1 to 2.2 pounds per year, and that is the ends of those facts. We're going to go back to Morgan. So around the 20-day mark, Morgan's liver started hurting, and the doctors recommended for him to not continue this diet anymore. And I'm gonna reference a textbook that I read called Wardlaw's Contemporary Nutrition, a Functional Approach, that proves like the damaging that you can do to your liver from eating fast food. So it states, upper body obesity characterized by a large abdomen or waist is more often called abdominal, visceral, or central obesity and is related to insulin resistance and a fatty liver, leading to obesity-related chronic diseases such as cancer, type 2 diabetes, high blood lipids, and heart disease. Because men typically develop upper body obesity, it is also known as android obesity. Other adipose cells empty fat into the general blood circulation. The fat released from abdominal adipose cells goes directly to the liver. This influx of fat interferes with the liver's ability to use insulin and negatively affects the lipoprotein metabolism in the liver. The reason why I read that statement is it shows what Morgan is going through and why it is affecting his liver, and it further proves why if Morgan were to continue down this path that it would lead to obesity. And I basically just wanted to make this video to show the dangers of fast food, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's like different than what I normally do, and it's like an actual video. Maybe I'll do more like this, not sure, but let me know what you think, and